Hey everyone.
Hello.
So today we're going to be diving into a topic that affects all of us. And essentially it's how money is controlling you. But most importantly, how to take back control.
Yeah, we want to share some unusual tips today, kind of going beyond what you might have heard around basic kind of budgeting, savings type strategies, but just sharing a lot more psychological points and emotional points today. If you really enjoyed today's video, we'd really appreciate you doing us just one favor. Please just hit the subscribe button over there somewhere. It takes a second to support our channel. And if you really like this video, please like it as well and share it with other people.
Yes.
So what's our very first point today?
So the first point is around the illusion of ownership.
Yes.
So we often think that owning more things makes us happier or appear more successful. But actually, the more possessions we own, the more the possessions own us and control us, because essentially the more things we have, the more it takes to maintain and look after it. Time and energy just to maintain these things. Yes, and money.
Yeah.
So to change things, we'd say to embrace more of a simpler lifestyle and just try an exercise where you remove one item every day for a month, just to try and see how you can, have a more minimalist or simpler lifestyle and essentially look at other things that bring you fulfillment and joy. It could be more experiences rather than possessions or material goods. But look at other ways to maybe give you that sense of, happiness and joy.
Yeah, I wanted to add as well to this point about the illusion of ownership, the point around the fact that a lot of times we think we own everything. But if you look at it more spiritually, ultimately God owns everything.
Yes.
So if you looked at what you own as something that everything we own, for example, in our lives, we believe is owned by God, whether it's our property, business, money, anything else.
Yeah.
And what that does psychologically is it helps us to just become better stewards of our finances. Absolutely. If you believe you're reporting to somebody about how you're spending your money or how you're using your resources, you're likely to be better at using those resources better, Whereas if it's all about you, money might become an idol in your life. And for you, you could quite easily be quite careless with money and let money control you rather than you being the one who's in control of money.
100%. What's the next point?
So the next point is the debt trap. Now, so many people are controlled by their credit cards and loans and their mortgages. This is by far one of the biggest items. We are controlled by a system that is set up to keep us indebted, basically.
Yeah.
Take mortgages, for example. A lot of people right now are working literally just to pay their mortgages. And I'm speaking about this from experience. When I look at my parents, for example, a lot of their frustrations came from having to continually pay the mortgage until they were much older, in their 60s. Now, one thing I wanted to say about debt is talking about the system of debt. We have a system where people borrow money very easily. So credit is easily available.
It is.
And secondly, they are now encouraged, they've always encouraged us, it's been going on for many, many years, to make the minimum payments on your debt, which is, if you think about it, is just absolutely ridiculous. Then you've of course got the system of interest, right? Yeah. So, the central banks of the world effectively control the price of money, the interest that we pay, the base rate, which effectively controls people, controls their budgets, controls how much they have left to enjoy their lives, controls pretty much how long they're likely to be working into the future, because they've borrowed that money at a cost. Yeah. So what we would say is that with debt, it's important to begin to create for yourself a debt repayment plan, a debt-free plan to escape this burden of debt, and also just really question, the ease with which you take on debt, the ease with which you say, I'm going to put down a credit card, or I'm going to, I'm going to flex that payment. Really question those things. We've made a lot of videos, everything from how Mary and I became mortgage free, which has been life changing. I'm going to link, somewhere in the video above and below to some videos to help you begin to rethink this point on debt.
Yeah, I love that one. The next point is around emotional spending. So many of us try to fill an emotional void
Mm-hmm.
by spending. So it could be that you're sad or you're stressed or you're bored. Some people could even be happy, but they essentially spend money to make them feel better. And, you know, that can just get you into a situation where you are buying things that maybe you don't necessarily need, or you're letting your emotions essentially control your spending habits. And I guess to break this cycle, maybe identify like what are your emotional triggers. And I guess you build, the more like you're self-aware, the more you're more aware of yourself, and you'll be able to see these patterns. And something that can help you to become more aware of these patterns or these triggers is to journal, you know, daily, and then go over those journals. But also keep a spending journal also. Like, what are you spending on? And can you come up with healthier ways to cope with your emotions of when you're feeling sad? It could just be like going for a walk, going for a hike, spending time in nature, speaking to that really supportive friend. I don't know, like reading, just doing something and other things that bring you joy. And again, it comes down to self-awareness, really.
I want to just add an example to this point you made about emotional spending. We've had a few people message us, but one that really sticks out to me is a lady who bought a car, and 3 days later messaged us and said, I really regret this decision. I bought this car emotionally. What's your advice for how I can return this car? You know, so the emotional spend can vary. You know, it can be from small things that you might buy, you know, small amounts of money, maybe at night time or whatever, you know, online, you know, one click and you've bought it. Or it could be something as big as a car where you feel like, wow, I'm trapped now, you know, like, I've bought this car because I was having a hard time in life, which is what she was going through. And she just wanted to make herself feel good.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I guess that talks to like not making really important decisions like that when you're at your lowest, or when you're not like mentally sound, because it sounds like she actually realized what she'd done after she'd, So that's interesting.
Number 4 is social comparison. So the culture of today makes it very easy for us to compare ourselves to each other. What we see online is pretty much people's highlight reels. You know, I mean, and we're not exempt. I mean, we try to keep our work as balanced as possible. When we share things, we try to give a balanced perspective. But even though we try to do that, what you still see on our social feeds, on our YouTube channel, anywhere else, is only a fraction of life. You know, it's only a fraction of reality. I mean, take the example now. You know, we're currently on holiday, and we just thought we're about to leave our current resort, and we were like, you know, let's just make a video about this particular topic. Now, whilst it's easy to compare and say, oh wow, wouldn't it be nice if I was on holiday, you know, like Ken and Mary are? What you have to always think when you compare yourself to other people is what you don't know is how have they funded, you know, their trips. If you see somebody who's having a holiday, how have they funded it? Have they funded it out of savings? Have they funded it out of debt by borrowing? So social media is a tool it's a massive comparison tool. And a lot of people basically get into a lot of problems just comparing themselves to other people simply because they don't have the full picture, and they make monetary commitments just to try to keep up. You know, so the first thing we'll say is when it comes to how do you turn this around is try to, you know, really curate quite carefully your own social media content and the feed, the account you follow. But more particularly, always just remember, the picture I'm seeing is not the full picture. You know, these people are living their own lives according to their own values, and that's how you should design your own life. You know, live your life according to your values. Don't compare yourself to other people, and remember that you are not seeing the full picture when you see people online. What's the final 100%. Point we've got?
So the final point is the work-consume cycle. So many of us are working currently long jobs that don't bring them joy or fulfillment.
Yes.
And essentially it's to
keep up a lifestyle, basically.
Yeah, just to keep up a lifestyle. So people are spending money on things that they don't necessarily need, and they're working long jobs that they don't enjoy to be able to fund their particular lifestyle. And so essentially that keeps them into this cycle of working by not getting any fulfillment. And then they're essentially confined. They basically don't have much freedom to choose maybe jobs that bring them fulfillment or joy, because they may be swayed by getting the job with the most pay, as opposed to the job with more fulfillment. And I guess it leaves a lot of people without some level of job satisfaction, or they don't feel like they're in control of their lives.
And I get this point about working not necessarily in jobs you enjoy, but just jobs that pay you well. And you know, I've done that on my own journey at different stages. But I think the point you're making is what the consume culture is destructive, in that a lot of us are overworking ourselves to sponsor lifestyles that are really not lifestyles we want to lead if we think quite deeply about it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, everyone's individual. Some people might get fulfillment from having that high paying job, and that's all you need, and that's fine. Like, we're not speaking to you at that point. It's just, to the people who feel unfulfilled and exhausted in their job, to essentially fund their lifestyle. And I guess to escape this, you might just want to rethink your relationship with like work and consumption. Like, can you downsize your lifestyle?
Yes.
Can you live like to the point we made earlier, a more simpler lifestyle? And just redefine like, what does success mean to you? It might not be material things, but it might just be success might be defined by the quality of your life, the quality of your relationships, things like that. Just redefine what success means to you, and not what society is telling you what success should look like.
Yes, absolutely. Point well made. We're going to just say real quick, if you've really enjoyed this video, we'd love you to drop an emoji at the bottom of this video as a comment. What emoji should they drop? Just drop. Okay, do you know what? Drop like a thumbs up emoji, right? So if you really enjoyed this video and you've got to this point in the video, drop a thumbs up emoji, just to signal to us that you watched this video all the way to the end.
Yeah.
But I want to just conclude by saying that, you know, remember that money is a tool. This is very, very important, and I'm sure you know this. But the thing is, are you living it? You know, are you master of money, or is money the master of you? And this is a very, very important point to reflect on. The point of making this video is for us to take away these key points to reflect on, to really question our relationship with money, our relationship with consumption, our relationship with spending more generally. And the more we reflect on those, and the more we really just think about how these points relate to us, the more likely we are to make better choices that will help to improve our relationship with money and help us get to that point where we see money as a tool, rather than something that just literally just controls our lives. And
essentially gives us more freedom as well.
Yes.
Right? To do things that we love. Right?
Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you really enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like, hit the subscribe button. But other than that, as we say every week, and as always, in all things, be thankful and seek joy.
Take
care, people. Bye.